Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So I am still going through this curriculum, just trying to figure out what is changed and what's different about this kit. And I've kind of come to the conclusion now. I know what's different. So essentially, on the old kit, it didn't have, on this DC driver module, it just had 4 banana clips, and then now it's got a directional switch to change direction, and then also it's got a potentiometer to speed up and slow down. So there, I just changed direction, but it was going too slow and it couldn't change direction. How do I get it to now start going again? So I guess this sound is what? I don't really know what this sound is, but so this controls speed. So if I turn the speed all the way down to 0, then if I ramp it up there, it went to move, and then now it's like stalling. And then I don't get why it doesn't start now. So it just screamed, and then it went. But that was at max speed, so I don't know. I mean, I guess you could tell me, number one, what is the noise? Like, why does it scream? I don't know. Anyways, cool. So essentially all I need to do with this curriculum and going through it is I just need to update the curriculum to include this switch instead of a formal connector, and to remove. So if I go through, just take you into worksheet 13. If you look at this schematic here, it shows a 10K potentiometer. Now here, I don't need that anymore because that would have sat there, but I have this pot now in the new version. So essentially I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna remove this potentiometer from the graphic, update the graphic, and then update the curriculum. So I will, just for the sake of like learning, let's just read through this worksheet. And then in future videos, I'm just gonna breeze through and just go through the worksheet fast, as a way of just like giving myself a small introduction to this world, basically. So worksheet 13, the DC generator or dynamo. I've always known what a dynamo is, or a dyno, sometimes they call them. But I didn't actually really get it, that it's essentially a DC motor. So this motor here, right now, what I'm doing is I've got 24 volts going, sorry, 12 volts going into this driver box. This driver box then drives a 3-phase signal to this DC brushless motor. This brushless motor is now spinning because coupled to this motor. It's driving this motor, and as you should know, any motor, if you apply electricity to it, it will spin the motor, spin the shaft. If you spin the shaft with your hand or via any other mechanical means, like for example this motor, that then generates another signal, a 3-phase, or I assume single phase if you had a single phase motor, a 3-phase signal on the output. So interesting. If it's generating a 3-phase signal, why do I only have 2 outputs? Yeah, I don't know actually. I don't actually know the answer to that. Yeah, if you know, chuck it in the comments. This is why I kind of wish I had like a chat GPT assistant that I could just talk to really fast. At the moment it's still a bit slow. So anyways, so essentially now this is then producing a signal, which on this particular circuit I have 100 ohm, if I can get it out. I've got a 100 ohm resistor, which I'm using as a load to give me some current. And I don't actually know why I need, or why I have or need the resistor. The curriculum just mentions, so we'll read it together. It just mentions that you should put a resistor there. So anyways, let's read the curriculum and then, or the worksheet, and then see if we learn something. So DC motor and DC generator are essentially the same electrical machine. Supply it with electric current and it becomes a motor. Drive the rotor around and it generates electricity. The photograph shows a small DC dynamo on a bicycle. I've never actually seen one of these before. Looks interesting. So if you ride the bike, it will generate electricity. Yeah. All right. So this is the schematic that I need to change, which I will do. So over to you. Set up the circuit shown on the previous page. The pot controls the speed, so that's this pot. So I've got rid of that pot now. The pot controls the speed of the brushless DC motor, which is driving the DC motor. Okay, the brushless DC motor, which is driving the DC motor. Yep. The DC motor now acts as a DC generator or dynamo, which is this one. Yep. The resistor provides a small load for the DC generator. So I don't know why I need that. So maybe we can ask ChatGPT or something. Or if you guys can tell me, I'll probably forget. Why do I need that? Because as I'll show you now, if I run it, where's my speed? This thing stalls loads, you know. When I go to run it, it just doesn't run. I'm surprised by that. Like, so if I spin it really slowly, yeah, look, it just stalls. Like, what's that all about? Have a look at the rotor, yeah. So you can see me. You can see my hand. So there I'm at 0. So that's on now, and then you just slowly spin it. There, like stalls. Okay, there it didn't stall. It just went, which is good. That's what you'd expect. Now I'm at full speed. So let's go back down. Slowly. Alright, so it's gone there again. It's like, oh no, it stopped. Oh, wait, did it spin the other way? No. I want to know A, what that sound is, and B, why does that happen? Anyways, cool. So what was I was going to show you something there. Oh yes, yeah, that was it. So if I run this, yeah, I've got the load on here. You can see it on the bottom here. If I take that load off, no difference. If I remove the output from that motor, no difference. And then what I also don't understand is when I stick my scope on this, so if I go 0 on one end, that on the other end, my scope just kind of shows nothing. So let's turn off channel 2. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I have something. I don't know what it is. And then so that's without the load. So let's add back in the load. Oh no, wait, I can't add back in the load. Oh, I can actually. I'll add back in the load, which is just there, and that to there, and there. Okay, so the sound changed there, so something happened. Alright, and then my signal is now different. It's a lot more kind of flat, I guess. I don't know, it's just like a lower, it's not, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Alright, so, anyways, use a multimeter to investigate how the output voltage from the dynamo changes with speed of rotation. Okay, so it wants me to use a multimeter. Hopefully, make more sense to me. So, use a multimeter to investigate how the output voltage from the dynamo changes with speed of rotation. So, what voltage is it? It's a DC. Is it DC output, yeah? Not AC, I assume. Alright, let's go over multimeter. And then where am I putting it? Let's just put it on where my scope is. So that was in there and there. What do we have? We have 6. Why is it minus? It's opposite. Interesting. So I've put my probes here. I don't know why it's minus, but okay. Let's just swap it around so it's positive. Yeah, maybe it is negative. I don't know. So we're at 6 volts, and then what speed am I? I'm quite low speed now. So, okay, as I reduce the speed, obviously the voltage, I guess that makes sense, right? So there I'm going really slowly. I've got 1.5 volts. So I guess when I go max speed, I should get 12 volts. There you go, yeah. So at max speed, ignore the scope because it's just picking up, I assume, like noise or something. You can just ignore that. So at max speed, we're at 11.2 volts. If I take it down, you can see the voltage decreases, which makes sense. I get that. Essentially, this thing here is giving out less voltage because this is going slower, which makes sense. Cool. So here now the curriculum says connect the direction terminal, but this is because this is before I had the switch. That's fine. So I now want to reverse direction. How has the voltage from the dyno changed? So if I reverse direction, okay, it hasn't. It's not moving right now. Let's speed it back up. Oh, does it go minus? Ah, so that's why it was originally minus. That's why I swapped it here. It was minus because it's now going forwards, which was backwards before. So that, yeah, then you go down to minus 12. Minus 7. Very nice. That's cool. So yeah, I mean, Matrix do quite a lot of products, and I must say their electronics range is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I think there's a lot I could learn from this sort of stuff. So let's look at the last bit. So we've got Fleming's right hand rule, Fleming's left hand rule. I know this, but I don't remember at all what it means anymore. Current, direction. So I think left hand is the direction of current, and right hand is the direction of, or left hand is current, and that's like the direction of current. It's like magnetic field, something like that. And then right, yeah, I don't know. All right, so the output voltage from a wire moving through a magnetic field is proportional to the rate of change of movement. This means that moving the wire faster increases the size of the voltage generated. Fleming's right-hand rule states that when you change the direction of motion or the direction of the magnetic field, you change the polarity of the induced voltage. So that makes sense. Diagram explains how to apply the rule. So you got first finger is the magnetic field. So why is that the first finger? Anyways, okay, because your thumb is not a finger, maybe. So you got thumb, which is your thumb motion. I don't get that. So motion. First finger magnetic field. Second finger induced current. Yeah, I'll have to trust this rule, sure. The right-hand rule applies to generators. It is the complement of Fleming's left-hand rule, which applies to motors. Cool. And then we're on to worksheet 14, which is just about Xenodiodes and doesn't have any use of this product. So the next one would be like worksheet 20 or something. So I'll see you guys in that one. Thanks for watching. Yeah, hopefully you learned something. And if you can explain something to me so I can learn something, I've got a bunch of questions here. So if you can answer any of them, that would be nice. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.